Think about the last time you sat quietly without checking a screen or waiting for a page to load. Most adults can recall what genuine boredom feels like. Today's youth have no concept of it. Every idle second is filled, and almost every social interaction is mediated by a screen. This line graph shows the simultaneous spikes in adolescent anxiety, depression, and self-harm blooming across multiple industrialized countries. The shift in behavior maps perfectly onto the shift in mental well-being. Social psychologist Jonathan Haidt spent his career analyzing moral systems and how societies function. When youth mental health metrics collapsed uniformly around the world, he began investigating the structural changes in their daily lives. Diagnosing this collapse requires looking past standard psychological models. We have to analyze the specific infrastructure of the modern adolescent environment. For thousands of years, childhood development relied on unsupervised, chaotic play. Kids learn to navigate physical risks, handle failure, and resolve conflicts entirely away from adult referees. Driven by rising safety concerns in the 1980s, parents began pulling children out of physical neighborhood environments and moving their activities indoors. The traditional model of risk-taking eroded. When smartphones arrived with constant internet connectivity in the early 2010s, they instantly consumed this newly created indoor void. By meticulously removing children from the highly visible physical risks of the outside world, society accidentally exposed them to a completely invisible psychological threat. If digital platforms act strictly as neutral tools, the psychological strain should distribute evenly across demographics. The data points in the exact opposite direction. Tracking teen mental health from 2010 to 2023, outcomes diverged sharply. Anxiety and self-harm rates among adolescent girls climbed dramatically faster than boys. Right at the moment of social media ubiquity, platforms intersected perfectly with the vulnerabilities girls already carry: social comparison, appearance, and status. Boys reacted to the same environment differently. Their pattern is characterized by widespread withdrawal, declining academic ambition, and retreating into deep engagement with video games. A truly neutral tool wouldn't map its damage with such precise alignment to how each gender inherently processes status and social rejection. Acknowledging this threat often leads to simple advice: take the device away. But Haidt identifies this as a classic collective action problem. Force a single node, one child, to disconnect, and you simply isolate them because their entire social life has migrated online. It operates like global carbon emissions. One country stopping accomplishes nothing. Safe restoration requires shifting the entire network equilibrium at once. This observation drives Haidt's policy demands. He pushes for sweeping, school-wide bans and rigorous age verification laws to strip the burden away from parental willpower. Because the trap relies entirely on network effects, individual family opt-outs are structurally useless. The only viable unit of change is the institution. Not every researcher agrees with the exact scale of Haidt's conclusion. Academics like Candace Odgers at UC Irvine argue the statistical correlations between mental health and phones are weaker than presented. A hyper-focus on screens can obscure other heavy overlapping pressures affecting adolescents: persistent economic stress, severe academic demands, and widespread political instability. The reality is complex. Smartphones act as severe amplifiers, supercharging the weight of those real-world pressures, rather than operating as the sole cause of the crisis. Regardless of the precise statistical weight assigned to the hardware, the mechanics of Haidt's proposed collective response hold up. Offering individual parenting advice to solve systemic infrastructure problems operates strictly as feel-good theater. We are currently testing what happens when we construct an entirely new infrastructure for childhood without considering the impact on the end users. We migrated an entire generation into a digital environment, built and optimized by designers who were not thinking about children at all.